Hi, everybody. Welcome to the episode of In the School Parking Lot. My name is Paul. I'm your host. I'm recording this on the 16th of May, posting it on the 30th of May. That means yesterday was my final day of school. Started teaching in 1989. So I've been teaching a long time, all these years in California. Some say I'm a survivor. My subject, music. 21 April 2021. Principal at the high school I was teaching at said, "Hey, Paul, you and I are Christians, man. I got to tell you, I hate to tell you this, but you got to leave Jesus Christ in the parking lot." And I just said, "I guess I'm going to the parking lot." And I admit, and again, I'm recording this on the 16th of May. Even 5 years later, I feel a sense of guilt. I should have stayed on that campus and fought to have Jesus Christ on that campus. And I'm doing some praying. What a dork. I'm doing some praying. You might see that too on Let's Pray for Schools. Over 100 prayers now, but I just gotta tell you, it's tough. It's tough. I don't like what's happening with schools. I don't like the politics being in it. I don't like being told you must choose composers that are DEIA certified. Oh, we're not telling you that, Paul. No, we're not. Well, you go ahead and do what you want, but you probably should be considering that. If you really want to be a really good teacher, what does the composer look like? And anyway, I can't. It's really hard for me. I look at all human beings as they're special. And then all of a sudden now we're told, well, no, when you get that white dead composer, they're not that special. All right, so that's my 2 minutes of pontificating, verbal processing. Now you know who I am, how I think. We have a Venmo account and a PayPal account, and we could use your help. I'm not getting teacher gigs like I used to, and I'm not crying poor Paul. My choice. I'm not a victim. I'm a Christian. I'm not a victim. I'm a Christian. I do teach at a charter school too, but, things happen, so I appreciate your support. So I use the readline.com and check the publication page out, public education page out, public education. Slow down there, Mr. ADHD. Okay, posted May 1st. Not worth my safety. Teachers share last straws that made them quit. It's going to be a hard one for me, but here we go. Written by Adam Wittenberg. Starts with troubled students, safety, and unruly parents are just some of the common reasons teachers are giving for leaving the profession. And remember, I've taught for 37 years. I've had my car window shot out. I've had poo left on my doorstep. Had a parent start a petition to get me fired. But those are the thorns on the rose bush, you little youngsters that are teaching. There are so many, if you're just doing your job, there are so many kids that love you. Okay, just so you know, there's so many of your students that love you when you're doing your job. Yes, there are crazy kids. Yes, there are crazy parents. And there are mean people. 37 years. I have scars to show it. Lies, slander, anyway. More than 24 teachers answered the question on Reddit. Question: what was the last straw that made you quit your job? And some of the answers are harrowing. Here we go. A student kicked me in the stomach while pregnant, one woman wrote. I finished off the year, although it was torture. After my daughter was born, I went back to school part-time to get my doctorate so I could teach at the university. Best decision I ever made. That changed my life. I still teach, but at my first school where I thought I'd be for life, I got a new student, another teacher wrote. He was troubled and heard voices, but was very nice to me. And then one day, he stabbed me in the shoulder with a pen. There was a manifestation meeting. Get the kids some help, get them out of this. Stabbed a teacher. Here we go, restorative justice. A manifestation meeting. And basically, they decided it was okay for him to do that. My district wanted me to sign that I wouldn't press charges and wanted me to attend 40 hours of training on how to handle someone who is trying to murder you, basically. The kid was back in class and tried to do it again. It was the end of the school year, so I used up my sick days, and I interviewed elsewhere. I did not press charges, though I now know I should have. Sometimes the violence was between students, but administrators failed to act. Another teacher wrote, two things happened at once. After 4 years of teaching 7th grade, a girl who complained to me for an entire semester about being harassed, brought a pocket knife to school and threatened a boy with it. He grabbed her breast again. She was expelled. I reported the incidents to administrators, school resource officers, and guidance counselors. They ignored me and her other 2 teachers until she became that desperate for him to stop. Others described being stalked by troubled students, one of whom eventually shot the teacher's dog with a paintball gun and slashed their inflatable lawn ornaments, and violent classroom incidences. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and read this article to you. And I stood between him and the door for 10 minutes, protecting the other kids, taking punches until help arrived. He ended up assaulting 2 or 3 other teachers the day as well. While this was terrifying, I probably have some sort of PTSD from it. A lot of the reason I'm leaving teaching is the blankety blanket admin support I received before and after the event. They cared for half an hour, but nothing was done before, and I wasn't updated after. Many teachers blamed administrators for ignoring violence, pressuring them to change grades, or failing to provide support. The school got rid of detentions. The kids were out of control. And I was asked to change grades so that no kids failed, even the ones who never did their work and didn't attempt any questions in exams, one former teacher wrote. This is very depressing. Another described a pattern of violence. She said it went unaddressed. She says, there were several events that led to my decision. In the first year, a 14-year-old student grabbed my chest. Administration said it was my fault. Another student threw a book at me and hit me in the head. I sent her to the office. She was sent right back to my class. In my 3rd year of teaching, I had a student who cussed me out for looking in his direction. Admin didn't see a problem. The same student decided it would be a good idea to chase me around the classroom with a pair of scissors, trying to stab me. Called school resource officer. He was back in my class the next day. That would be the student. Still in my 3rd year, husband and I were trying to get pregnant. While out of the school band concert and heard gunshots in the neighborhood, walked out of the school band concert and heard gunshots in the neighborhood. Events like this were just tip of the iceberg. I came to the conclusion that no job was worth my safety. It's going to go along a little bit longer, but I'm not going to say much after this. One first-year teacher said she was given a class the class veteran teachers couldn't manage and was yelled at weekly for an inability to manage them. The class had to be evacuated weekly because one student was destroying the room. That same student punched, kicked, and slammed my back and head into the door on purpose. The kid also tried to stab me with scissors and tried to jab me in the eye with a sharp pencil. This is 1st grade. Administration always blamed me for his behavior, even though I was following his IEP and behavior plan exactly as it was written. I quit in March. Another described being stalked by a parent. Oh, I've had that happen. I got stalked by a parent because I was the only teacher holding her ADHD kid accountable for his grades, and she wanted to let him slide. My assistant principal had to sneak me out of the back of the school to avoid them. But after that, the principal was blank. I wouldn't talk to that parent to work it out. This happened 2 days after the school psychologist said the mom was unhinged and that I was being targeted for some reason that the psych couldn't figure out. I told them the next morning I wouldn't be renewing my contract. Others, teachers, cited testing mandates, curriculum changes, and mounting bureaucratic demands. I left when the state mandated a new teacher evaluation protocol, one teacher wrote. We had to document our proficiency in 4 standards, 17 indicators, and 29 elements with photographs, examples of student work, handouts from meetings, logs of parent interactions, copies of emails, etc. No one ever expected a doctor to have to prove he relates well with his patients by photographing an office visit, but I had to photograph students working in the lab or doing group work to prove I taught using a variety of techniques. And it's going to be a little bit longer. Thanks for still being with me. I had to log or photograph my visits to my special education students' study hall to prove I supported their learning. It was endless. If you can't trust me to be a professional after 15 years of teaching AP classes, then guess what? I'm gone. Some accounts described extreme emotional strain. It was either leave teaching or commit suicide. A very supportive family and a well-paid partner meant that I could stop, one teacher wrote. Others pointed to hiring practices and restrictions on teaching content. I gave up when the 27 schools I interviewed told me I had to teach a sport to be a history teacher, and that I was not allowed to reference any material outside the approved curriculum. That's not history education. That's commercial ignorance. One teacher said a colleague quit after being told to change a student's grade due to the family's influence. Sure enough, the grade got changed, and my buddy packed up his bleep and left, the post read. And it's been 12 minutes, and then it goes on a little bit longer, and I think it lost half my audience by now. I'm sorry. The teaching profession should be like Paul Revere. The end is near. The end is near. Problems are coming. Problems are here. Something. The teachers are letting you know what our nation's going to be like 30 years from now. Because all these children that these teachers are talking about will be adults, and they will have children. Our nation is at risk right now. I think there's a 1983, 1984 report called Nation at Risk, and it was how troubling the schools are back 40 years ago. Well, all those people are in their 50s, right? I'm 60. I graduated in 1984 from high school. That was a longer episode. I hope you stayed through the whole thing. Again, we have a Venmo account and a PayPal account. We'd love to have your financial support. Please share the video. Subscribe. We have over 520 subscribers. It's pretty good for a grandpa. All right. Take care, guys. Love you. God bless.